Again, I would like to welcome our guests to the UAE, and I really hope that you enjoy your stay and the various activities throughout Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week. As you know, the UAE is only 44 years old. Throughout the last 44 years old, the UAE managed to do a major shift when it comes to building our country and building our cities. And we have a really very modern cities that has been built and with very solid, robust infrastructure. I remember one of the comments which I heard throughout the week, which was an answer to a question raised to one of the guests. What are the challenges that you guys see here in UAE? And the guest said, "You guys are living in heaven." And if that's the case, we still need to do more. And the sustainability and improving our efficiency is a crucial thing that we have to continue doing within the country. It's going to be my pleasure to moderate a session with very high-level people who are the key people behind this modern development within the country. We have with us here His Excellency Engineer Hussein Nasser Luta, the Director General of Dubai Municipality. We have with us His Excellency Ahmed Al-Muhairbi, the Secretary General of Dubai Supreme Energy Council, and Her Excellency Yasmin Rashdi, the Senior Manager of Istidama in Abu Dhabi Urban Planning Council. I will start by giving our distinguished speakers the mic to give us in a few minutes a quick introduction on the entities that they're leading, and then we'll continue with the questions. So I'll pass the mic to His Excellency Engineer Hussein. The mic is yours.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Good morning, everybody. My pleasure to be with you here today. As you see, today it's an issue which is very important, not only for as a country, also is very important for cities. And there is a lot of challenges, and there is a lot of product to be seen in the futures. And we are in the United Arab Emirates and the city of Dubai. We will highlight it, a lot of projects we are working on it, and these projects, it will give us exactly what we are looking beyond 2021, the agenda of United Arab Emirates, where it's been identified for us all the goals, all the requirement, all the project we have to do, and we will give you a brief on that.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I'll pass the mic now to His Excellency Ahmed Al-Muhairbi. Excellency.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the Master and Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week to allow us to speak in this honorable event. I think the most important thing is to sustain the development in the cities is to have a sustainable energy. And the approach to the energy in the UAE and also in the Emirates, especially of Dubai, is a structured approach through a strategy. In the Emirates of Dubai, we have DICE 2030, which is Dubai Integrated Energy Strategy, where we tackle the supply, the diversification of the energy portfolio, and also we tackle the demand side management. This gave Dubai an edge over the others, and to produce a very business hub city oriented, and a city which looks also for the future, to become a city of the future with less emission, with energy which is heavily focused in renewable energy. We have already Dubai Clean Energy, which is announced by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the Vice President, Prime Minister, and the ruler of Dubai, where we are going to have 75% renewable clean energy by 2050. We are, of course, integrating this new strategy and the new approach to our overall umbrella, which is the Dubai Integrated Energy Strategy, so we can reach sustainable growth for the Emirates, for Dubai, and the city of Dubai. Thank you.
Thank you, Excellency. Yasmin, if you can give us a quick intro on UPC.
Good morning, and it's great to see such a good turnout this morning. I just wanted to reflect on what was mentioned in the opening statement about people living in Abu Dhabi, living in heaven. Even heaven needs a facelift sometimes, and I think that's where the role of the Abu Dhabi Urban Planning Council really comes into play. The primary role of the UPC is to ensure that we see Vision 2030 through. And that means by understanding and knowing the principles of what the Vision 2030 for Abu Dhabi is, by responding to the current and future development needs. It's very important that as part of such a young country, and particularly as a capital city, that we establish a very strong planning culture within Abu Dhabi. And that means understanding what it means for where we're actually going to grow in the future. Managing that growth, making sure that it sustains the needs of the people and the capital. We do this through various methods, and that includes introducing clear guidelines and principles for new developments and projects. It's very important that the principles of Vision 2030 are understood as we're developing these guidelines. So there's some key elements that we need to always take into consideration. Things that are sometimes left in the background and are not thought about as an immediate area of importance, and that is the heritage and identity of the capital. We look at establishing excellence and livability within our city, as well as creating vibrant spaces which are easily connected. That, of course, brings us to the subject that we have today, which is sustainability. How do we begin to grow and establish ourselves as a capital, establish ourselves as a leader within the region, whilst taking into consideration the challenges of sustainability? We also obviously can't do this without taking into consideration the unique natural environment that we have. Again, once again, how do we grow whilst protecting and enhancing even the natural ecosystems that we have within our country? And of course, evolving the culture of planning, the culture of sustainability, and the natural heritage that we have within the capital itself. These elements and principles all come together to make one holistic Vision 2030, which is what Abu Dhabi is trying to establish. The Abu Dhabi Urban Planning Council plays a number of key roles in how it begins to do this. If I was to say, if I could list them, I would say there's maybe a top 5 roles that the UPC plays. The first would be to develop comprehensive urban framework plans to make sure that there is a clear direction and outline for the growth which occurs, setting those boundaries and putting our focus within the key areas in the city that need to be established and or re-established. Because let's not forget, even though parts of Abu Dhabi are already built, it's also a very young urban fabric, which is also re-establishing itself through urban revitalization. How do we begin to assist in the implementation of all of these plans and ensure that we see them all the way through? It's all well and good to put drawings on a paper, but if you can't actually see it through into full establishment, you're not actually achieving the goal that you're setting out for yourselves. The third would be to develop the appropriate regulations and guidelines and policies to support that growth and to make sure that it takes into account the finer level of details in which it sets the direction for the growth to occur. Once growth begins to occur and we begin to establish elements of that urban framework plan, it's very important to take the steps to actually reassess how we're doing. Plans are not set in stone. The reality is that plans evolve and they change, and so does leadership's directions. So it's important for us to take those steps back to be able to reassess where we are in terms of being able to achieve that vision and ensure that we realign to actually establish new directions to achieve that. And of course, sustainability. We need to ensure that istidama and the principles of sustainability are embedded in the urban growth and the direction of urban development that occurs within Abu Dhabi. And I think as we continue to discuss further, we'll be able to speak about the specifics of that.
Thank you, Yasmin. Let me go back to His Excellency Engineer Hussein. Our leaders are always putting us in, or asking us to be the leaders, and they're always asking us to be to be the first when it comes to our ranking around the world. Urbanization for sure is one of the things that we're always aiming to improve the quality of the life, the society, etc., etc. Dubai has experienced tremendous growth, urban growth in the past decade. What are from your experience, what are the key achievements, and what are the lesson learned that you can share with us?
Well, as you say, Dubai city has been growing so fast. Today we almost about 4 million inhabitants. This is put us a big challenge in a lot of sectors. Future cities, there is a number of achievement has to be done so I can go to the level of future cities. One of them is the environment. The environment today, it is a key issues among every cities will grow. People make it comfortable when they stay in any cities, but they don't know what's behind, how much they are affecting on that cities. There is two issues here. It's very important, these two issues. One of the issues, if we're talking about the electricity and renewable energy, this is an issue. It's true, it's an issue, and we have to achieve it. We have to reach that goals we wanted. But there is another issues, which is the behavior of the people. The behavior of people, it is the major things. If you even go, one of our achievement today, we have already issued a guideline for the green building. On the green building, there is almost 5 aspects has to be achieved. That's might achieved during the construction. One of these 5 is, for example, we have to have insulated building. We have to have, second, we have to have a solar heater, because the heater is one of the highest electricity consumption, so that is achievable. We have to go with the low consumable energy from the lighting, like LED, and that's also achievable, because that is also is coming today on the market. A lot of lights come with a lower voltage, and this is also achievable. The third one, it is the appliance. There is a challenge here, because the appliance also has to go a green appliance. So the green appliance where it has to reduce the consumption of the electricity, and that will also be the fourth achievement. The last one, which is really the major things and the major challenge we are having, is the air conditioning. The air conditioning, we are in the hot country here in UAE and in the city of Dubai. And the air conditioning, it is one of the issues. And the highest consumption of electricity is the air conditioning. So now here, how we can challenge and how can we find a cooling space, a comfortable with a minimum electricity consumptions. These things has to be worked out with also the behavior of the people, because we find out from our experience, as much as you apply the green building on any project, but you find the people, they leave the light on, they leave the AC on, they have, consume so much like this. This is the issues here. I think the target has to be on the legislation, where we have to come with a measured meter. Measured meter, different than smart meter. The smart meter, okay, it can be a different reading, but the measured meter, we have to have a quota. We must have a quota. Quota per house, quota per man, per human, or something. Because this is what's called part of imposing a certain requirement or imposing certain need for that. By doing that quota, we can achieve a lot of things in changing in the behavior. In the city of Dubai, from the first part of the renewable energy, we have a lot of projects is coming. Today, probably a lot of you is concentrating or talking a lot about the solar. The solar is not the only renewable energy in the market, or the wind is not the only renewable in the market. There is a lot of different sources. We are in Dubai, we already started to generate first megawatt from the landfill. So from the landfill, there is a huge gas we generated, and our aim to go with the 12 megawatt in very short period of time. We started also, we go from the biogas. We also, from the biogas, we plan to have 5 megawatt also from the biogas. We have another project also, we are working on it, which is converting some of the waste to liquid, especially probably also you notice here one of the other problems we are facing is the crowded city. UAE and the cities here is so crowded because so much cars there. So you expected these cars also, they're changing so much tires. So these tires also working on it. How we can utilize these tires from recycling and we go this. So the aim of the subject here, the two parts I talked about it, is a part for renewable energy. We have to discover other sources than just solar. Solar, fine, it will go and keep on, but there should be a lot of this. The second one is how to utilize, what you provided for the people and how you manage the behavior of the people.
Thank you, Excellency. One of the crucial topics that you touched upon is the consumption, and our consumption in this region is considered one of the highest in the world. I'll come back to this topic a bit later. Let me ask Yasmin here. Yasmin, what are the main achievements when it comes to Abu Dhabi 2030 vision so far?
I'd say one of the biggest elements that was a driver really within the UPC was the Estidama program. And Estidama represents the vision to create a sustainable Abu Dhabi. It's a key component of the Pearl rating system, which was established as the Arab world's first sustainability rating system, which was designed to assess the sustainability performance of buildings, communities, and villas. We heard an example earlier on this morning by Adnan Amin, the Director General of IRENA, who was praising the sustainability achievements of their headquarters building, which is located in Masdar as an example. That is a 4-pearl Estidama building. And it's through the collaboration between Estidama and I think the industry members and developers that we are able to establish more energy efficient and water efficient buildings within Abu Dhabi today. And a building like IRENA is standing today and represents just that. And it is achievable. The important thing to remember is that the key milestone of the Estidama program is not just that it exists, but the fact that the government of Abu Dhabi recognized its importance by creating a mandate to ensure that all buildings and or communities and villas which are built in Abu Dhabi since 2010 are actually required to go through the Pearl rating systems and achieve minimum standards for savings in energy and water. So that's, I think, one of the biggest key achievements, not just seen by the Abu Dhabi Urban Planning Council, but is actually one that is established by the government of Abu Dhabi itself.
Thank you. I'll come back to this point when we apply the standards to the new building. What about the old building? How we're going to really improve the efficiency in those buildings?
Yeah, it's a good question. Obviously, with the rate of development which was occurring in Abu Dhabi, the Abu Dhabi Urban Planning Council and the Sustainability Program identified the need for to tackle new builds first because of the fact that we had a large number of GFA that was being established. So the first priority was given to all new buildings that were being established in Abu Dhabi. However, it is not the only focus of the Urban Planning Council. The Estidama program is also looking at an existing buildings program, which looks at being able to allow for retrofit of existing structures within the city to establish more efficiencies within their power and water, for example.
Thank you, Yasmin. I would like to welcome Dr. Asha Ben Bashir, the Director General of the Smart Dubai Office. Doctora, welcome to the panel and welcome to the Future Cities Forum. If you can give us in a few minutes a quick intro about the Smart Dubai Office, please. The mic is yours.
Thank you, Doctor. I apologize for the late, but I just came back from abroad today early morning. And to be smart, we need to travel very fast. And I'm humbled and honored to welcome you all here at the World Energy and Future Summit, the capital of Abu Dhabi. Cities are evolving, and as they continue to grow, so are the needs for more efficient and sustainable cities, smart cities. Advancement in recent years by smart networking technologies for multi-stakeholders collaboration, data sharing, and informed decision making are enabling government to operate more efficiently while increasing the impact for people. Smart Dubai is such an initiative, born out of the visionary approach of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum to focus the city's unified efforts towards its most valued assets, its people. And in the city's pursuit for happiness, or of happiness, we need to ensure that residents and visitors have access to services, infrastructure, and opportunities that will enable our city to thrive. In December of last year, we announced the formation of the Smart Dubai office, and as the landmark initiative overseeing Dubai's smart city transformation, the office is tasked with shaping policies, guiding initiatives, and enabling services to make Dubai more seamless, safe, efficient, and impactful for all. However, this is not done in silo. Smart Dubai has been collaborating with 11 strategic partners from the public and private sector. It is through their continued support that we are a step closer toward completing the first phase of our mission, to deliver over 100 smart initiatives and 1,000 smart services in the city. Working together with our Smart District partners, Smart Dubai published the first ever Smart District Guidelines, a technical blueprint for district developers to adopt seamless and efficient smart solution at the planning stage. And you can download it from our website, smartdubai.ae. And through the efforts of all our strategic partners, we outlined the Smart Dubai roadmap, identifying over 500 smart services and initiatives from our partners. Initiatives that are economically, socially, and sustainably driven, some of which you may already be familiar with, like charging station of electrical vehicles, or the Shams Dubai initiative, developed to encourage citizens to install solar panels at home, and many more and more. Our objective have always been geared toward improving the quality of life for all residents and visitors of Dubai, putting their happiness at the center. As envisioned by His Highness, people are always at the center of everything we do. Thank you. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctora. Let me go back to His Excellency Ahmed. How do you see the role of clean energy in having a sustainable city? And what are Dubai Supreme Energy Council plan for 2016?
This is a very important question. The renewable energy, as stated by His Excellency Engineer Hussein Luta, is part of our portfolio in the Emirates of Dubai. And the clean energy and renewable and the solar especially is heavily focused on Dubai. We had actually made solar park under His Highness' name, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Solar Park. In that solar park, we have, as we speak right now, we have 13 megawatt plus the 200 which is under construction. And today or tomorrow, in a few days' time, we are awarding 800 megawatt. So by 2021, you will have in that solar park around 1,000 megawatt. And we are planning for 5,000 megawatt solar by 2030. Renewable energy and partnership with the business sector is the way forward for smart cities. And this is the only way, and this model will bring business to all sector for the Emirates and the city of Dubai. We think solar energy and renewable energy will be a venue for business to be generated in the future, and for now and for the future. And we think also one way to drive the city and to combat the emission in the cities is to convert definitely to solar energy. Thank you.
Your Excellency, will the current oil prices affect the renewable energy projects and targets in Dubai, especially the expectation that this price is going to continue for a couple of weeks or even a year and so?
Yes, we do have definitely a very low oil prices as we speak. It's around 29 now. The shift to renewable energy worldwide has been made. We are definitely responsible for the planet Earth, and it's everybody's responsibility to reduce the emission. And the current prices right now, as we speak, is low, but definitely the future, the prices will pick up. And definitely the renewable energy will be always the answer for us, even though the oil prices are low right now. But very important is the shift is being made, and we are going now for sustainable development through green economy. And the green economy requires that our emission to be less, our services to be smarter, our waste to be less, and so on. So it's all through our stakeholder and the Dubai Supreme Council of Energy. We are achieving our targets, starting with the Dubai Municipality, DIWA, the power generator, and the Dubai Municipality, RTA, and the rest. They are all geared up into the renewable mode, and this is very important for us, that even though the oil prices are very low as we speak right now, but the future 10 years down the road, or maybe less 5 years down the road, the oil price will pick up and the demand will pick up, and you will see something definitely more than what you have right now.
Thank you. Let me go back to Dr. Asha. You said currently we have more than 500 smart services. How can we take those services and replicate it in the region and the world? How Dubai can be the center of sending the smart experience to the world?
Actually, what His Highness set for us as a goal is to make Dubai a role model for the region and globally, as how can cities convert to become smarter and happier for its people. Right now we are studying to build an excellence center, think and do tank, an innovation center around smart cities industries, wherein we can bring government, private sector, academic sector to work together toward bringing more ideas on how to improve the quality of life through ICT or smart technologies. And this will not happen only by government. So these three segments should collaborate together, and only by them we can replicate these kind of systems globally.
Thank you. Let me take a couple of questions from the floor if anyone has questions. Yes, over there, please go ahead.
Therefore, what are the plans for getting those buildings much more efficient to the current standards that we have now? This is the problem that we face also in Europe. So we need to know whether you can give us the key. And that's true. We have a lot of building, probably some of the building also before any application of green buildings code. But that's, as explained, there is a number of things has to be looked at for the buildings. First is to be insulated, and that's still we can't do insulation. There is no problem for that. Second, we are finding a special type of paint, which is do some reflection of heat from the walls, and where we can apply it in the whole building. Third, we are also renewing this building, renovate this building by changing instead of single glass layer, we have double glaze or double glass layers on the windows. The other is very simple. The others, for example, the lighting. For sure, everybody is changing the light. You know, if you go with normal lighting, you are changing your light every year. You know, because and every light which is having, for example, 500 watt, 50 watt. Today you can make it with 5 watt. So we can change a lot of lights now. You can save huge amount of electricity from the lighting. The challenge is the air conditioning, and that's what I said. Still, the challenge is the air conditioning. And I think, things is coming in the future to produce a new technology, new type of air conditioning, and that can be done.
Thank you. Yasmin, do you want to comment on this as well?
Yeah, I think I mentioned a little bit earlier about Astadama program developing a segment which looks at specifically existing buildings to help look at the various elements that can be retrofitted within those buildings to create efficiencies. Now, a big part of starting off an initiative like that is by conducting proper energy auditing for those existing buildings and understanding how they're performing today at the moment. You have to take into consideration the life of the buildings and when they'll possibly renew themselves, because the reality is the construction methods within Abu Dhabi, especially for the first generation of buildings, weren't very advanced. So a lot of those buildings are by nature being torn down and actually they're rebuilding them. So they'll automatically go through a new building program. For those buildings that aren't of that age, like I said, energy audits will need to occur on them. Okay. Now, there was a pilot initiative which occurred within the government of Abu Dhabi, where a comprehensive cooling plan was established, and that looked at earmarking a number of buildings around Abu Dhabi downtown, older buildings, and of different land uses. And again, audits were made on those. They established a benchmark or baseline for how they were performing, and then put a plan in place for what retrofit measures could occur in order to make them more efficient. That was phase one. Phase two then looks at being able to actually undertake those retrofits and again analyze the performance of those buildings after the interventions.
Okay, thanks. تفضل دكتورة.
When it's come to smart cities initiatives, and there are two kind of initiatives, either greenfield initiative or brownfield initiative. And it's very easy to start with a greenfield. You have just a land and you can design whatever you want and implement the latest technologies in that land. But when it's come to a brown initiatives, it's the most challenges for any city manager to retrofit all these kind of infrastructure in the city. And what we are doing in Dubai, we have one of the smart districts in Dubai, which is D3, Dubai Design Districts. It's a combination of a brown and green field. We have 11 buildings which already exist there, and that's what we need to retrofit it to make it more sustainable and smarter. And alhamdulillah, within 1.5 years, the team implement a lot of systems to convert those buildings to a smart buildings. Using many systems, whether it be from Cisco or other vendors, just to make sure that they are aligned with the codes that will come very soon in Dubai. Today, alhamdulillah, we have, as part of the municipality, the green building codes, and what we are trying to do now, and it is under the study, to add more components to those codes to become more smarter. So when any building will start developed, it will have that kind of coding which combine both sustainable and smart components. Thank you.
Thank you. His Excellency Ahmed.
Thank you. This is a very important in the Dubai and integrated energy strategy. We have the demand side management, and the demand side management approach to Dubai is 9 programs, and number 2 is the retrofitting. Actually, we generated a company, it's called Ittihad ISCO. It's Ittihad ISCO Energy Services. And their portfolio, as we speak right now, is more than 200 buildings. We are trying to target around 30, by 2030, we are trying to target around 30,000 existing buildings. Dubai, of course, have more than 150,000 buildings. But our target is, the business is moving for Ittihad ISCO, and it's one solid program. And the savings, as on the first 5 buildings till date, is more than 30%. In water, it is more than 30%, more than 40%, and in electricity, it's more than 30%. So we have a very solid program for the old existing building through this retrofitting through Ittihad ISCO, and already we generated the market. There are more than 10 ISCO services company existing right now in Dubai, registered through the regulator, which is the Regulatory and Supervisory Bureau of Dubai. Through this, we are already approaching the market, and this is for the existing building. For the new building, as His Excellency mentioned, we have the Green Building Code, and the champion for it is Dubai Municipality, and they are progressing. The program is progressing super well and achieving more than what's been achieved. And this has been already seen in the consumption of the Emirate of Dubai in electricity and water. We have, as we speak right now, very solid proof that consumption is already being reduced through our program, the solid program in the demand side management.
Thank you. I'll take the last question from Dr. Klaus. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much, Excellencies. I would like to ask you a little bit about the pricing policies of energy. Who established the price of the electricity or the energy in the market? There's a regulatory framework or equivalent. And also, apart from the prices, because I think that prices are very important in order to give signals to the market of what are the behaviors that you want to incentivize. And the other question that I would like also to ask Your Excellencies is the question of the costs. What is the cost of the renewable energy? What is the evolution of the costs? Is the renewable energy diminishing its generation cost? Do you think that you are in the right track in order to produce renewable energy that in a period of time would be marketable?
Thank you. I think there are two questions. The first one is about the energy pricing and cost, which Your Excellency
Yes.
Ahmed can answer.
Thank you very much. I think this is a very important question. I want to stress very important is the efficiency came through cost-reflective tariffs. The one existing right now in Dubai is the cost-reflective tariffs. And the recent in the solar energy, we went through the IPP model, and through our DEWA organizing the correct tender and the correct item on the tender, we produced the lowest price for solar energy, which was around 5 cents, I think, per kilowatt hour. And this is very important. It is for actually, I want to say, disclose that the current price right now of solar in Dubai is even cheaper than the conventional energy. This is very important. We are building up the future of the city to bring a very smart city, to bring the renewable into it, and the achievement of the 200 megawatt, which it's already under construction by Aqua as we speak, is very cheap, and it's price breaking worldwide, and it was the cheapest. And also right now, as the 800 megawatt is coming along. Of course, the regulator in Dubai for tariffs is the RSP, Regulatory and Supervisory Bureau. It's through the Supreme Council of Energy, through the RSP, which is all the IPP projects are going through them.
Thank you. I'm going to ask the last question to our distinguished panelists before I close. So I'll go back to His Excellency Engineer Hussein. We talked about behavior, and Dr. Klaus asked about behavior as well. How do you see the behavioral changes in UAE and in this region? And what are the concrete actions that we do to really expedite the behavioral changes?
Well, behavior, as I said, it's very important. It is the behavior of the people, how to really cooperate with the cities. You want to make your cities as a clean city, green cities. Things has to be done also from the people themselves, so they have to cooperate, they have to give, achieve that requirement. I just want to highlight the point, if we are going with the oil, for example, one of the questions because of the oil, we want to eliminate the use of the oil because the oil, it is the highest polluted for environment. So if we could have one day the energy without utilizing the oil or the petrol, that's the achievement. If we could have cars without benzene, that's the achievement. These things have to be done. Today we see a lot of cars, electrical cars. So the power, it is the future. The power is the future. But how we generate the power and how we utilize the power. This is the very important point. But also the people who could contribute. There's a city, international cities, where the government had distributed 4 kilowatt square solar panel for every house. So if you imagine, just imagine, you have million house, and every house that has 4 kilowatt generated electricity. That means we have 4 million kilowatt daily. And in the daytime, we don't consume electricity. In the daytime, most of the families outside. So if we put in the grid 4 million kilowatt, then we bring it. So that's where the people has also to contribute to the city, not only to consume the city. So it's the behavior of the people is very, very important to make the achievement of the requirement of the cities.
Thank you. Excellency Ahmed, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed Rashid said that Dubai is going to be one of the lowest carbon footprint per capita by 2050. How are we going to achieve that target?
Important question, very important question. We had established the Dubai carbon abatement strategy. And through this, we had solid programs through our stakeholders. One of them is the Dubai municipality, DIWA, and Dubal, and the rest. We had approached it in a very structured way. We made a solid programs to achieve 16% reduction in our carbon emission by 2021. And this is a very ambitious target, but we believe in our stakeholders. They are well established, they have the means, they have the tools, they have the way, and they have the plans. And definitely this target of reduction of carbon emission definitely is very important for the Emirate of Dubai, and definitely we will also visit it in 2021 and see what's the future target. One thing very important also is by introduction of Dubai Clean Energy Strategy, by aiming to reach 75% of our energy from clean energy by 2050, is also an ambition by His Highness and initiative by His Highness to lead the world and everybody toward the clean energy. This is very important for the UAE. UAE already have the IRENA in it, it have Masdar in it, it has a very important the ground and the knowledge and the smart government to move forward with this initiative to bring the clean energy and to lead the clean energy toward the future through our leadership. In Dubai also we introduced a model which is called sustainability model, which address all the work which has been done in the Supreme Council of Energy in a very systematic way, introducing the most important thing is the leadership toward the future. The leaders who can change, who can produce, who can change and can produce the correct agenda for the countries, and also produce the clean energy and change and tackle the climate change.
Thank you. Yasmin, Abu Dhabi has been awarded last year the environmentalist city in the Arab region. Are we going to compete globally?
We already are.
How long will it take to be one of the top?
I think when we look at really our approach to planning, we see ourselves as very much so leading the initiative within the MENA region. There has to be a holistic approach to planning, city planning, and when you think about planning, it's almost like a puzzle that has lots of different parts or almost layers to being able to achieve what we call a sustainable city. It's important to understand the different elements which make up a sustainable city, which is leading in its approach to planning. Everything from infrastructure, understanding your environmental framework, understanding how that overlays with transportation systems, and of course the buildings and the urban fabric itself. And if you take each one of those layers and break them down, you're able to analyze them in greater detail. So we look at transport, for example, as a key factor. And if we took that within Abu Dhabi, we begin to look at the key policies and guidelines which are leading that sustainable initiative, for example, in transport. the Abu Dhabi Urban Planning Council has produced documents such as the Urban Street Design Manual, which begins to help promote walkability and transportation choices, giving multimodal options, helping to reduce the use of vehicles on the road, and promote people being able to use other alternatives. This happens not with the council on its own, but with partners like the Department of Transport, for example, to help promote a surface transport master plan with those sustainable options. So, I mean, that's just one of many layers to a city that you would look at, which help, I think, create a holistic approach to sustainable planning and leading in the planning initiatives within the region.
Thank you. Dr. Asha, you guys are using us with a new announcements. Any new announcement 2016?
2016 is a very busy year for us. When it's come to the Emirate itself, we have almost 15, 20 new projects will be finished in 2016. Theme parks, the canal, so many projects will be finished and open to the public in 2016. But when it's come to a Smart Dubai initiative, we will see a lot of open data and shared data being published, especially after the announcement of the law in November last year. And also the city platform will be up and running by mid of this year. So a lot of new services will come out, not from government. And that's what Smart Cities is targeting, to develop a new industry around smart cities. Government cannot continue to provide these kind of services. We need to bring the private sector, individuals, startups, and entrepreneurs to share with us the assets of the city and start developing new services that are targets for them. So many adventure in 2016, inshallah.
Wish you all the best.
Thanks.
Well, I have to close the discussion. Let me just sum up. We had distinguished speakers from the UAE who shared with us their experience when it comes to the fast urbanization in the UAE. Let me thank our speakers for being with us here, and thank you for listening. Thanks, Atif.